Nothing over music. John, are you ready? Ron, are you ready? Jose, let's go!
Still Knicks fans, still Knicks fans, go! Still Knicks fans, still Knicks fans, go! Still Knicks fans, still Knicks fans, go! Still Knicks fans, still Knicks fans, still SKF, SKF, still SKF, SKF, still SKF, SKF, still SKF, SKF, still. Yeah, all season long we gonna keep the garden live. Let me introduce you to New York, starting 5. Listen to the podcast, like it and share it. What highlights of RJ, Broadway, bear it. The question is, what kind of offense we gonna run, son? It doesn't matter, we got Jalen Brunson. Let him drive the lane, you know that we stopping them. Welcome to the block party, Mitchell Robinson. You need a deep shot, call Evan Fournier. Look behind the 3-point line and find him over there. And trust, there's nothing we can't handle. If things go left, we call Julius Randle. Look all the way up and see OB topping. And NY, it's good to see your IQ dropping. Hit the defender with a hezzy, he froze. Classic, vintage, D-Rose. You wanna see fans do? Tell me what the bet is. Human highlight, you gotta keep your camo reddish. You can't handle the beef, then why start? And make sure you tune in to catch iHeart. Put the Knicks on the New York Times with the vets and the youngins like Quentin Grimes. Run with us or run from us, it's time to pick sides before I end up waving the deuce like McBride. Still Knicks fans, still Knicks fans, go! Still Knicks fans, still Knicks fans, go! Still Knicks fans, still Knicks fans, go! Still Knicks fans, still Knicks fans, still SKF, SKF, still SKF, SKF, still SKF, SKF, still SKF, SKF, still.
What's going on? Thank you for tuning in to Still Knicks Fans Weekly. That's right, SKF Weekly is back, folks. You see Ron, you see John. We're back, baby. Let's go! Let's go! Yeah.
We here.
Let's go, guys. Yeah, man. We back, baby. You can see it. Look, I got some energy. I'm here, folks. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. So, you know, there's been a lot of Debbie Downer stuff today. Past couple days, you know, stuff going on with Milwaukee and with Cleveland. But guess what? No, I'm happy because I feel better. And I know that my Knicks, we're going to be right back where we need to be. It's going to take some time. So let's go, guys. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's clap it up, man.
Right.
We're about to do our
right.
thing.
Right. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, guys. Come on. Come on. Because you know what? No matter what happens, through it all, we're still Knicks fans.
Yeah, we are. You see the sign.
It's tough. It's tough right now. It's tough. Yeah, John, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm in good spirits, man. Listen, the season isn't going to go like we all would like it to go, right? They're going to be ups and downs throughout the season. We got to take the good with the bad. This is just, you know, part of learning right now. And right now, 3-3, I would have taken that to start the season. You know, seeing that we have a tough road ahead of us, I'm looking at things, I'm looking at the cup half full a little bit because we've won against teams that we're supposed to win against. Now, I'm not sure if anyone out there would have expected us to beat the Cleveland Cavaliers. But listen, we talked about it early. The East is better. The East has gotten better. Yes,
it is.
And they're formidable.
Yes, it is.
So Cleveland Cavaliers, with the addition of, Donovan Mitchell, are one of those teams. So I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm doing good. I'm glad to see that we're 3-3 right now. There's a lot to talk about, of course. And we'll be discussing it today. So yeah. In good spirits, though.
Yes, exactly. That's all that matters, man. We just got to keep it going. Keep that energy up. Keep the optimism going. It's a long season. It's still 78 games left. I mean, that's look at you 77 games. 77 games. My bad. That's a lot of basketball left, guys. Listen, a wise woman said, you take the good, you take the bad, you take them all, and then you have the facts of life.
That's true. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Right.
The funny thing is, not that there's any young people who watch us, but if there was some young people, they probably don't even know where that's from. That's bad. That's sad.
Right.
It's cool.
What's even worse than that, though, Ron? I can't remember the old lady.
Mrs. Garrett?
Mrs. Garrett. I was trying to think about her name. I was like, what's her name?
There you go.
Garrett.
There you go. Oh, man. Shout out to the chat. Appreciate y'all. We see you. It's good to see y'all. Listen, man. It is what it is, guys. Things could be better. Things could be worse. But somewhere we're at that point where we know that the Knicks have to improve on some things, and like John said, we'll talk about it. But you know what? We should probably start with one of our first segments. Last week was a little tough to kind of get it off because we were doing it right during the Knicks game, and we were kind of giving you guys the play-by-play, not play-by-play, but the score updates as it was going. And we know a lot of people weren't tuned in. Hopefully, there's a couple more people tuned in today. And as we said before, if you are not catching this live, by all means, feel free to put your comment emoji in the comment section. It doesn't matter if it's after the fact. We'll see the emoji, and we know exactly what you're talking about. It's not going to I'm going to put this emoji here. They ain't going to know what we know exactly what you're referring to. So, yeah, man, participate. Yep. Put that emoji up in there. So this is our peak performer, segment of the show where, as we said before, it can be a positive peak performer or it can be a negative peak performer, okay? Now, what we want you guys out there to do is you can give us one of two emojis. It's the emoji, the yellow emoji with the stars in the eyes. It's like, we're good to go. We like what you guys are thinking. We're rocking with y'all. Or you could give us the nasty green emoji with the throw up face. Like, nah, that's trash. We don't agree with you guys. That we're not rocking with you on this one. So those are the two emojis, guys. Once again, it's the stars in the eyes emoji, the yellow stars in the eyes, or the green throw up emoji. Okay. So what we consider our peak performer of the last game for these New York Knickerbockers. Now, it's interesting because he didn't have a horrible game, but he's been having a horrible season, okay? And even in this game, he made a play that might have helped lead us to defeat. Let's put it to you like that. There was one play that he made that definitely helped precipitate a lot of negative stuff that was happening. And in the end, we lost the game. I'm not saying that's the play that did it all, but it was a bad play at a bad time. And that person is none other than R.J. Barrett. That's right, folks. Mr. R.J. Barrett. He's the GOAT on this one, folks. So we feel like he's the negative peak performer. You guys may not think it's him. You guys might think it's somebody else. So if you do, obviously you're welcome to put the person in the chat, but if you don't like it, put up the green throw up emoji. Like, nah, you guys are way off on this one. RJ wasn't the worst player. RJ wasn't the reason why we lost. Whatever it is, you know. Or if you agree, put them little star smiley face emoji up in there. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see what you guys think. And shout out to the chat once again. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. We know there's a jam-packed Monday. There's a lot going on, but we thank you for being here and rocking with us.
Definitely.
And what I'm going to do also is I'll repeat it a little later in the show, just in case, because there may be some people that tune in late and didn't have a chance to see it. Maybe we can go back and just do that and give you guys an opportunity to get involved. I think that's the best idea. What do you think, John?
I think that's a smart idea. Let's do that.
Look at that. You see that? Sometimes I say these things and I'm like, is it good? Is it good? John says good. Okay, good.
Yeah. No, that's a solid take. Yeah.
Oh, man. Thanks, John.
I'm right there with you, man. RJ Barrett has not shot the ball well to start the season. Actually, he may be even worse than he was last year to start the season, which is extremely unfortunate for our sake as Knicks fans and for, the start of his season. I'm sure he'll find a way to turn it around. But as of right now, he isn't looking confident from the three-point line. I'm glad he's confident from the free throw line because that's a step in the right direction. But as of right now, he has been shooting it really poor from the three-point line. I think this last game, though, against the Cavs, he shot it at a better clip than he has been in the last 5 games prior. So
that's a very
hopefully
true
that's
statement.
Hopefully that's a trajectory in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, we could hope because it's bad. I mean, shout out to D's World of Hoops. He, blew my mind when he said that the stat of prior to the Cleveland Cavalier game, RJ Barrett was shooting 14% from three-point range. That's ridiculous. I couldn't even believe it.
That's almost insane, man.
That's nuts.
And he was, and here's the thing, though. He was tossing them up. He wasn't like shy about it either. He was letting them go. So you want him to hit more than what he's, averaging right now. So, like I said, the last game was decent. It wasn't great. It was decent. I mean, what was his numbers from the three-point line this past game?
In the past game, this is why you can't he skewed the numbers. He was 3 of 4 from 3. He shot 75%.
See, that's where you want him to be. I mean, even if he went 2 for 4, right? But him chucking up 6 to 7 threes and going 1 for 7, which I think he did the game prior, it's not a good look. Not a good look.
It's true. So I mean, like I said, maybe it's a good sign that he's coming out of his slump.
Right.
But he's got to work on a couple different things, not just his shooting. First off, what's going on with the Knicks basketball IQ? There's some really weird looking basketball happening there, and at certain points, like you would think the Knicks have played together for these guys for a couple years now. Most of them 2 years, some of them 3 years together. You would think the chemistry, the level of play, the knowing where people are on the court, knowing what people like to do, knowing what works for people. Oh, let me not give this guy a pass here because I know he's going to be in a bad situation. Now, I'm not, this is all new. Sometimes it's new. And when I'm referring to the past stuff, I'm thinking about Mitchell Robinson. They were trying to give Mitchell Robinson the ball at certain points. But Mitchell Robinson, one, he's not used to catching the ball in the paint area because he never really gets it. And then the defenders is like, well, I haven't seen Mitch really catch the ball like that. Let's put a body on Mitch, making it uncomfortable. So Mitch he's stumbling and bumbling. He's got the Nerlens Noel hands all of a sudden. Like, it just, I don't know what to say. I like the fact that they're trying to find him, but, this is not something you could just do in a game. You got to feed him in practice, too. Like, they got to really put some attention to this. And I don't know if the Knicks are doing that. They might be. I don't feel like they are. So. I don't know what you think about that, John. You think they're working with Mitch like that in practice games? Like they're giving him the ball down low and go get it, Mitch?
I would have to think so because some of those plays were drawn up. I just think they missed the mark on some of the passes. Like, a couple, like I think there was an alley-oop that was sort of behind Mitch that was given to him by Barrett. And there's a few different looks that they went to him, and it's just not in the right placement. You know what I mean? And I always looked at it, if the play doesn't match, if the play doesn't work out as an assist for a player that's passing the ball, then it's a turnover to some degree, right? By that person who's passing the ball. So it sort of goes hand in hand, at least for me. I mean, I played a lot of point guard, so every time I made a mistake, it was on me, and I own that. But for whatever reason, it just seems like they weren't able to get him the ball in a place to succeed, or to be. Mm-hmm. I mean, there was a couple of passes that did find him, right? There was that one by Julius Randle. It was really nice, actually. It was between the seams, between two defenders. Gave him great opportunity to just step right into and dunk. There were a few that he was able to get, but again, I think they sort of missed their mark on where he likes to get it at. Maybe they should have put it to his right hand instead of placing it towards his left hand. Things of that nature. So I don't know. I would assume that they do practice that though.
You would hope. I just think it's very hard, like to throw him in there, throw him to the wolves. Like, oh, here, Mitch, we should expect you to go eat down low now. You don't do it ever, but yeah, eat.
Exactly.
And then not even a favorable matchup. You tell him to do this against Cleveland, who's got good versatile bigs. It's not like it's a matchup where he can definitely take advantage of the person. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. And that's another thing, they do have size on that team. So it wasn't like he was gonna overly dominate them on the boards or, be able to get some putbacks put in because that team does box out. Their bigs do a really good job at defensive rebounding. We won most of the battle though against Cleveland. I want to say in the rebounding stat, right? I would say that we out rebounded them, but just not in the right. Like it just happened to be the wrong timing, right? Like I think the fourth quarter they dominated on the glass. They dominated, from the free throw line. I think they got most of the calls. They were in attack mode. They hit all their threes where we couldn't hit them. We couldn't buy anything. So that's another thing, right? Like the Knicks as a team collectively went cold in the fourth quarter. And so when you go through spurts in the fourth quarter of a drought, if you go into a drought, there's not really much you can do other than play good, solid defense to stay in the game. And that we weren't doing because we talk about how poor our current Knicks team is in perimeter defense.
It's atrocious, bro. It's atrocious. It's kind of weird because the Knicks, even last year, having the issues of having Kemba and Fournier here, the Knicks still, at the end of the year, they finished in the top 15 in defense, team defense, right? I think a little higher than that, actually. But their perimeter defense looked atrocious yesterday. Like they would get, what is it about, am I bugging? What is it about the Cleveland Cavaliers that every time the Knicks play the Cleveland Cavaliers, they allow them to light them up from outside? Remember, the Rubio
Kevin
game.
Love. Yeah, and Kevin Love.
Kevin Love's done it before too. This is crazy, bro. And like that goes back to what I'm saying. Like it's poor perimeter defense. Sometimes, in some cases, poor interior defense. But in this case, it was all perimeter defense was horrible, right? And then it's like lack of basketball IQ. Obi Toppin giving Kevin Love space, and I was watching, as I was working earlier today, there was different content creators on. D's World of Hoops was on. And I'm, listening to the takes and people talking like, where's the IQ? Like, why are you not making Kevin Love put the ball on the ground and get to the rim? Make him do something 100%. Out of his comfort zone. Like, what are we doing here?
Right. But also on the pick and roll action, we just aren't it's weird because it's almost like we're trying to trap their best player, which was of course Donovan Mitchell, but like holding too tight on Donovan Mitchell, not allowing him to just go through the screen and then allowing allowing your man to take the man on the pick, right? So you stay with Donovan Mitchell, play him head to head. I mean, you may be a mismatch. There's going to be a mismatch regardless, right? It's Donovan Mitchell. It isn't like one person can guard Donovan Mitchell, right? Not one-on-one, especially when he got it going. But the whole idea of trying to like delay your reaction time to go and chase down a three-pointer, especially when he done already hit two, he's already hot. Like you should be cognizant of that, knowing that that's your assignment. Get over there. But the same also happened to Cam Reddish, right? Cam Reddish at times defensively looked like he was lost. And, he's one of our better defenders. You know what I mean? So that's what's surprising to me is like certain guys. I mean, we expected RJ to be better, even though he's slow-footed. We hope that he would be working on that, lateral movement in the offseason. It doesn't seem to be a part of his game. At least right now it isn't. I think our IQ has gotten better with his defense. But again, he's undersized. And so there are a lot of, teams that are built differently. They're built with length that are going to take advantage of that. And they're going to shoot right over him. Cam, with his size, needs to be a little bit better pushing people to their weak end. He doesn't really give enough effort to force people. And I think that's why Grimes is going to be extremely important if he gets back healthy, because that's what he does best, right? He's aggressive. He gets to that position. He holds his position, forces people to their weak hand. And that's what Cam needs to do a lot more of. He's great in the passing lanes, though. I'll give him credit where credit's due, right? Like, he's solid when it comes to getting into the passing lanes. But outside of that, his man-to-man has sort of been suspect for me this year. It's been a little weak. He's kind of chasing around the pick and roll instead of, working through the pick and roll or going under the pick and roll. You either got to choose. You're going to over or you under, right? But you got to be decisive and you got to be aggressive in that manner. So I guess we'll see. Because you're not going to get it from Fournier, right? We know that.
The funny thing is, Fournier's looked a lot better on defense on the whole compared to what he normally showed us last year. That's not saying much, but the Knicks they're in a really bad spot right now. This is kind of one of the fears that a lot of people had coming into the season if they were able to pull the trigger to bring in Donovan Mitchell. Getting Jalen Brunson here and Donovan Mitchell, this is the type of thing you were going to be facing with your defense in the backcourt. Granted, you're still dealing with it, even just having Jalen here, because, Fournier is not astute defensively. And then, unfortunately, really disappointing, RJ has not been good defensively so far to start the season. I don't know exactly what's going on. I don't know if it's scheme-wise, if Thibodeau's got to do something different. Because I tell you one thing that I've always had an issue with Thibodeau's defensive system is I've always complained that Thibodeau seems to devalue the three-point shot. His whole thought on offense was the Knicks need to take more of them so we can kind of compete with what other teams are doing. On the defensive side, he's trying to make the defender take long shots. So I feel like his defense is predicated on stopping you once you're in that 20-foot area to the paint. But he gives his guys give leeway for the three because a longer shot is harder to hit but not when they're lighting you up. This is like that defense used to work back in the day when guys weren't as good shooting from the perimeter. Now they're really good. I don't
but that even with him, right? He needs to be able to come out of a timeout, shifting the way his defense operates from time to time. It can't be consistently trapping another team's best player, because guess what? The other team's best player, even if they're not getting off themselves, once they get other team members of theirs involved in the game and they start to score, it's going to make it harder in your defense to just collapse on one player. And that's the thing.
Facts.
And when it comes to Donovan Mitchell, he did a great job sharing the ball. How many assists did he have to Wade and to others on that squad, right? Like, he did a really good job sharing the ball after he got himself, some points early on. And so the trap doesn't work if you're not focused on other players and you're not really staying close to other players who can shoot the rock, right?
That's a good point.
You just got to have shooters around them, right? Like,
that's a good point.
That's the key.
And it's like they put us in a really bad situation, matchup wise. So first off, as I was watching the game, I wasn't as focused on the actual matchups and the rotations of who was guarding who as I should have been. So apparently, for most of the game, RJ was on Dean Wade. Okay, and so then you still got, that means Jalen Brunson is either guarding Donovan Mitchell and sometimes maybe switching to guard Karis LeVert. And Fournier is guarding Karis LeVert and sometimes switching to guard Donovan Mitchell. This is very bad, folks. Very bad. Right. And even RJ on Dean Wade is bad because Dean Wade is taller than him. He's 6'10". Like, that's not good. It's not good. I don't know. It was bad. It was bad.
We have a team that doesn't have the length that other teams have, right? We got solid players. We don't have an all-star type player. We have solid perennial all-star type players, right? Guys who can potentially make it, just at the cusp of making it, you know what I mean, regularly. Right now, as a team, though, we don't have that athleticism or the height. So we got to play with a little bit more smarts. We got to play with a better IQ, because we're not going to athleticize a different team. We're not going to out-length a different team. So it's really predicated on us being smart with the ball, taking care of the ball, hitting our free throws, and when getting open three-point shots, we got to knock them down. We got to, or else we're not going to win, right? So absolutely, those are the keys of the game. Every game for the Knicks, every game, those are the keys of the game, right? It's not going to change because, like I said, and I said it earlier, and I think everyone's talked about it ad nauseum, the East has gotten better. Not worse, better. The Knicks are better with Jalen Brunson, but that doesn't mean much when the rest of the East as a whole has also transformed their teams. So, again, goes back to like what we said, predictions. I don't see us nothing more than just a play-in team. Right now, if we do less than getting into the play-in, then it's a failure for me. If we surpass that 40 to 42 win season, I'm excited because I know there's some progression, right? So I'm gonna take it as it comes. But in the meantime, we hope to see some changes. Some adjustments by Tibbs and the players. Start to figure each other out. Start to figure out like. What to do defensively to help each other out as a team. There was one of my head coaches, and I'm going into a rant, but one of my head coaches, his name was RJ, right? Not RJ, JR. Mm-hmm. JR used to tell us all the time. JR used to tell us all the time, yo, stay home, right? Defensively, stay home. He always told us stay home because he knew which team had the better shooters and which ones didn't, right? So we would scout these teams out. And we would focus, and anytime a player was off their guy, he would scream out loud, stay home, stay home, stay home. Our team, Knicks team, needs to figure out ways to stay home because we really need them to stay put in front of shooters. You can't give a shooter that much space, especially when they knock down one or two, because that'll just get them going.
True. That's a very good point. And that's one of those things where you look at it like once again, Thibodeau's defense, the constant switching, right? If it's working, it's working. Okay. And, that's the principles and that's how you do things. That's how you get yourself out of bad matchups, because the switching, like, whether it's called for, whether the defense, whether the offense dictates it, or if the defense does it because, this person is in a bad matchup. Let me creep over to him and bring my guy with me if I can and try to get a switch. But in some cases, you constantly find that the Knicks seem a step slow this year so far. Like when it comes to this stuff, they seem a step slow. There's cases where I've mentioned it multiple times already, where RJ is trying to help out. He's cheating. Okay, and it could not just be RJ, it could be somebody else who's cheating as well. And then RJ is cheating, and then what happens is they make one quick pass to the corner to where RJ's man is, and he's in no man's land, and the guy has a wide open shot. And this is happening constantly throughout the game. And it's not just RJ, it could be whoever. There's the help defender, is getting caught, and they're not quick enough to get to where they need to be. So that's a problem. The other thing is, like you said, they can't stay home. The constant switching, and they don't always fight through some of these screens and stuff as either. Like, it's just, I don't know, man. It's just the effort on defense has to intensify. And if anyone's questioning, exactly why the Knicks lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers, yes, the score was 121-108, right? And that Cleveland was a barrage. They were on fire from three-point land. They hit 46% of their threes. But that goes to the perimeter defense. And the reason why I say that that's the key as to why they lost is because when it comes to rebounds, the Knicks out-rebounded Cleveland 45-43, right? That's good. It's not a demonstrative number, but it was good. All right? And these are the other three principles the Knicks have been doing for a lot of this year. And if you do these things, 9 times out of 10, you should win the basketball game. Points in the paint. The Knicks had 64 points in the paint to Cleveland's 32. That's right. Double. Okay. Second chance
because
points.
They shot the ball well, right, from the 3-point range.
Right. Correct. Second chance points. Cleveland had 7. The Knicks had 11. Okay. It's still a plus in their favor. Fast break points. Cleveland had 14. The Knicks had 28. Double. So when you put those categories together, the Knicks should have won this game.
Yeah.
But they didn't.
Comes down to free throws.
Free throws is definitely very bad. 50%, bro. 50% from free throw line.
And how often did we get there? Like, how many free throws did we shoot for the game? Like, what's the comparison there?
Let's see here. 8 for 16 for 50%. And Cleveland was 16 of 19 for 84%.
See what I'm saying? But so we had 18? How many we had?
No, we had 16. So think about it like this. Imagine that. We had 16 attempts. And they had 19, 8. And they were pulling from the outside for the whole game. Imagine that.
Crazy.
They still got to the line more than us.
Yeah, we got no calls. He got no calls. Yeah, but again, it really goes to, and this is why I say we can't out-athleticize another team. I don't even think that's a word, but there are other teams
we know
be
what you
more
mean.
athletic
that
than
works.
Us, you know what I mean? And then also with length, right? They're going to be teams that just have more length than we do at any given moment on the court. So we have to play a little smarter. We got to play with more IQ, and we got to be more consistent, especially with open shots. If we're not going to get to the hole and draw a foul, we got to be able to knock down open shots. At the very least, knock down open shots. Easier said than done, granted, but that's what you get paid for. Yeah, it's basketball.
I agree.
Gotta put that ball in the hoop. So,
yep, definitely.
Yeah, man.
And the bad thing is that it's not a good sign when your team is struggling in what should be your team's identity and what your coach is known for. It's one thing if we can't score, or we're not running enough creativity on our plays, or we're not finding opportunities for certain people. But for us not to be playing good defense, that's not good.
Also, offensively, and we'll speak to this more, and we'll hopefully start to see this cleaned up a bit more. I understand that Jalen's going to have the ball in his hands for the predominantly, the entire game. He'll be the sort of premier, what they call creative, right? He'll be the one running the offense.
Mm-hmm.
When you start a game where teams are sort of trapping you or collapsing off of you and then trapping you sort of as allowing you to get into the paint and then trapping, sort of you got to figure in what other teams are scheming against you. And this is the first time that Jalen Brunson's ever going to have other teams scheme against them. So there's going to be a learning curve there, but I think he's smart enough to figure it out. He has to allow the games to come to him and not be overly aggressive, right? As a point guard, we expect you to make the right play, right? Not the one that you perceive to be, the play that you want to see happen, right? Like you can't force a shot up or force yourself into the paint when they're trapping you in the paint. They're giving you less of an opportunity to score, so you have to make the right decisions in those cases. And so swinging the ball or just being active, an active member in the offense, whether that's creating a pick or screen for someone else, moving without the ball, it's all important. And I'm starting to see that teams are starting to scheme against Jalen Brunson, and he hasn't really caught on to it as quickly as I would hope. I think the third quarter was a better quarter for him. He started to figure it out a little bit more, but he has to begin, these upcoming games in that manner, right? Start figuring out what other teams are putting in front of you. Let's get other players involved. Let them get theirs off, and then you'll find your rhythm and you find where you get your best opportunities at, as a point guard.
Yeah, agreed. And, some of that, too, also has to do with coaching and his teammates, because another thing that we've noticed that is starting to happen, too, is now that we're playing the better defensive teams, the Milwaukee's and Cleveland ranks third, I guess, in team defense, which is surprising, but they've been playing pretty well lately. They are bogging down the Knicks areas. So the Knicks aren't getting the space that they like. And so Jalen doesn't have necessarily the lanes that he needs to be effective. And so they're kind of putting him in a situation, forcing him into certain areas where he's not as effective. And then, with the other guys not necessarily stepping up and doing things to help space the floor, it starts to be like a stagnant offense.
Right. What's interesting too with that is that teams could actually play us like Tibbs plays other teams, right? Because we're not a great 3-point shooting team as a whole.
Very true.
The team doesn't shoot it
Very
well.
true.
So clog up the middle, because this team that we currently have right now wants to score from the inside. We do our best work from the inside. You talk about Julius, you talk about RJ, Mitch, and even Jalen Brunson does their final work inside the perimeter. So clog up the middle, let them shoot from the outside. And if we aren't going to be able to hit 3-point shots, especially wide open, we're in some deep, deep trouble. And we got to figure out a way or a lineup that is going to sort of work best for a team that is lacking the 3-point shot. And it isn't just going to be Evan Fournier. We need more than just
Right.
Evan.
And, the funny thing about this team is they have talented players that can score the basketball, right? Now, there's ways to, as you've seen, there's ways that you can slow us down. Milwaukee did it, and Cleveland has done it as well, just playing certain types of defense. But Knicks need to pick. They need to pick a direction. The Knicks need to figure out what's more important? Is it more important to be able to outscore your opponent, right? Then that means the Knicks need to go out and get themselves, a bona fide 3-point shooter, and maybe another scoring / defensive minded wing or something of that nature. They need 2 more pieces to be able to play that style of basketball. Or they could say, well, we think we have enough offense to compete and to be able to outscore teams if we play enough defense. Maybe they don't want the juggernaut offense, the bona fide offense. Maybe they say, we've got enough offense. We just may need to switch a couple pieces out, give up a guy like a Fournier and somebody else, whatever, and bring in a bona fide stud defender who can, maybe score the basketball a little bit. But the point is they're locked, a tight guarding defender who really makes change out there. The Knicks need to figure out which way they're going to go, because they need to go one of these ways. You're either going to have to get to the point where you're outscoring everybody because they're just better suited to play defense than you are. Because there's a lot of guys, like you're starting to see these teams, they're better defensively than the Knicks, and they got better personnel. So as far as on the defensive side, you can either outscore them or you can join them. Figure out a way to bring in a piece or two in here, especially a wing who can defend, because that is going to be a point of contention for this team all year. Right now, even Grimes coming back healthy, is Grimes really a wing? No, he's more of a 2 because of his height. Can he play the wing? Yeah, he's good enough defensively. He can probably do that, but he's still, imagine Grimes going up against Wade, 6'10" guy. That's tough. That's a tough matchup.
Not only that, he also, he hasn't proven to shoot the ball effectively enough to warrant those minutes either, right? So,
true.
We're looking at Grimes as, an upgrade to what we currently have in our roster defensively. But offensively, has he really proven that he can knock down the 3 with consistency? He hasn't. He has a good looking shot, but outside of it looking like it's going to go in, percentages say it doesn't. So everyone as a whole on our team has to just get a little better as the season goes on. And then we have to figure out where are we most effective defensively and where are we more effective offensively, and work within that system. And again, don't get too high, don't get too low, because, like with basketball in itself can humble you. Randall is a sure indication of that, right? Where he's seen the greatest of highs, and then he's seen the lowest of lows in a matter of a year and a half. I'm looking forward to seeing what changes they decide to make, and how effective guys can be. Play within yourself is another thing I want to say for the Knicks team. Cam looked like he was trying to do too much, right? He was trying to be too offensive minded. When you don't have a shot, swing the ball, don't force it. I could say the same thing about IQ. Swing the ball, stop forcing it. Certain guys just, they want to do too much. And I'm not really sure it's because of Tibbs anymore. I don't even want to blame it on Tibbs. I think Tibbs is allowing these players to find their way and giving them the grace and space to do so. But at some point, you have to hold them accountable if they aren't doing what you ask them to do. Obi, if you are missing your defensive assignments, guess what? You're going to limit your playing time, right? If you're not playing within an offense and you're not doing what you're supposed to do within this offense, you're going to lose minutes. You have to hold these players accountable, because then at some point, the season will get away from you, and then we're not even in the playoffs. We're actually a lower seeded team. And if you're not fully tanking, then what are you really, really doing, right? I think you're muted, Ron.
My apologies. Yeah, it's very true. That's one of those things that we really worry about. Pick a direction. there's ways to win. Like as Francisco Carrillo in the chat says, salute to you. We know how to lose. Let's learn how to win. Ugly wins are beautiful. Yeah, I mean, the basketball is played in different ways. Like sometimes it's not pretty. But we watched back in the day the Detroit Pistons. And I'm not talking about the bad boy Detroit Pistons. I'm talking about the Pistons, the Rasheed Wallace, the Detroit Pistons, who played the defense and slowed down the pace. So they didn't have a great offense, but they kept your offense down so much that they didn't have to score that much to beat you. The Knicks aren't necessarily that dire, but it's a thought. Like, that's why you got to figure out, what are you going to do here? I don't think the Knicks have enough personnel right now to be a real stalwart type team on the defensive end. The rest of the East and the NBA on the whole is a lot better. So you need to go grab a couple pieces if you want to change things and make it that way. What you can do in the immediate is I think Deuce should be able to get some playing time. I think Deuce would help, play some defense. Yes, he's not a great orchestrator. He has some other issues on the offensive end as being a point guard, but use him for what he's got, how he can help you. Another thing is, I know it's a little panicky. It's early. I'd take Fournier out the starting lineup. I'd put Cam in there at the 3, and I'd put RJ at the 2 for now until we hopefully get healthy Grimes back. And I think somebody put in the chat, when do we expect Grimes? There's no telling. There's no timetable. He's just like day to day, with some foot soreness. It's the craziest thing. What type of soreness is this? I don't know.
Yeah, this may be an opportunity for the Knicks brass, and I want to say brass because it's the senior positional people, right? To get a real good look at Cam and see, is he versatile enough to be a part of this team moving forward? And so we don't have to put Grimes out in there, even if he has a sore foot. You know what I mean? Give him more opportunity to heal better, because we know what we could potentially have versus what we have. And this is an opportunity for them to see if Cam is, the player that they're willing to stick with. You know what I mean? And he may not get a full bag, but just to offer him some sort of contract to keep him around with us for the foreseeable future. I think right now this is Cam playing for his minutes in the NBA, because if he doesn't make it with the Knicks, as much opportunities he's getting right now, other teams may see the talent, but he's got to be able to put it all together in order to stick around. The NBA is really what you have done for me lately, right? A lot of good players have never seen the light of day in the NBA.
That's a good point. And, when you talk about Cam and having this opportunity and making the best of it, the time is now. I mean, I don't think he's going to get a better opportunity than this. Grimes has left the door open for him to get his moment, and I don't think he's capitalizing on it. He had that one good moment in Memphis, but since then, I mean,
He's had some decent games.
He's looked decent, like as far as what he's done for the minutes, but also on the defensive end, he hasn't been horrific, right? Because what Cam has on his side is the length and his ability to anticipate. So he makes up for when he might be getting beat at a certain point. He can make up quickly, and he's got good length, so he still remains in good defensive position. But doesn't mean he's giving you, top-notch effort. But he's been okay. I just think that, as you said before, like, he's got to play smarter and show some of the basketball IQ. Show that you're in the NBA and you've been here for a couple years and you know how the game is played. A couple of the shots he took yesterday were horrible. Like that, he took a layup and he just flipped it up. I'm like, that you do that in pickup games. Like you don't do that in the NBA.
It was almost as if he was it was almost as if he was expecting a foul to be called. That's what it seemed like. It almost seemed like he felt like, hey, I'm getting fouled here. you didn't see that type of throw up. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm throwing it up. I expect a call. I just, he has to get in the weight room. He has to get that core strength going, because right now he looks light. He looks too light to do anything offensively with an aggressive team like the Milwaukee Bucks and like, who we've seen, the Cleveland Cavaliers. They were aggressive. Yeah. They were aggressive defensively. And when you have your opposition is a defensive team like that that's going to be aggressive and willing to put hands on you and push you around, you got to get stronger. So you got to be in the gym. And I think that's what he's lacking right now. I don't think he has a physical strength that RJ has right now in this game. If he had that, who knows where Cam would be currently in his career. Right now, he just doesn't have that. So he has to build on that and play through the whistle. That's another thing my coach JR used to say. You play through the whistle. You don't wait. You're not anticipating contact. You shouldn't anticipate contact. You should be playing through the whistle, so that way you finish. And that's what some players do really well. Donovan Mitchell, one of them. He plays through the whistle. He ain't looking for the foul call. He's going to play through it. And that's why he makes all these extra shots. Dwayne Wade was the king at playing through the whistle. You know what I mean? That's how you do it.
Yeah. I mean, look, these guys, they have to, they have to learn how to step up. This is a make or break year for some of them, especially Cam. You expect more, and they should expect more from themselves, because listen, why wouldn't you want to see, your game go to the next level? See you transition into something, where people start to look at you differently. Oh, I knew Cam had it in him, but it's crazy looking at it. Like, you want to get to that level. And I think he's definitely got to start using his smarts and not being so lackadaisical with certain things. And it'll help his game. It'll help his game, because the way he played yesterday was not. It was memorable, but it was memorable in a negative way. And in fact, he was almost about to be a candidate. I mean, you could say he is a candidate for, what were you thinking? But instead, we've got someone else who beat him to the punch. He did a much better job of just, dumbfounding us and making us wonder, like, what were you thinking? And that is none other than Mr. Obi Toppin, folks. Obi Toppin. I don't know what he was thinking. First off, look at this pass to Cam, and nowhere's like, Cam's like, what? I didn't anticipate, but that wasn't good. And then after that, he gets this play right here, and traveling. He starts running with the ball before he puts it there. Come on, Obi. Come on, man. You can't do
that. And this sequence of plays that happened, I think this was all in the third quarter, right? Led to us losing a 10-point lead. I think we were up 10, and the bench came in, and they were just like non-existent. They didn't know where they were going with the ball. They weren't running any sets. It was weird. It was just super weird to see. Again, I think a part of that has to do with us running the offense through IQ. I think why would we have Rose on the court not running the point guard position and being that individual, facilitating what we need to do with the ball? You're focused on IQ getting the minutes to do that. It's not looking so great. We're not sort of all on the same, not on the same like mental right now. And there was another play, and I can't remember what that play was for the life of me, but there was another play that happened directly after this, and it was OB related. And so
that's correct.
Can't have those blunders.
If you guys in the chat remember, because honestly I couldn't find it. We both remember it from happening because it was 3 turnovers by Obi Toppin back to back in succession, back to back to back. But for whatever reason, I couldn't find the third one. If you guys remember what the third turnover was, by all means, feel free to put it in the chat. Yeah, but that is like, these are things you can't do. Like, it's okay. Right. Nobody's perfect. You can make one of these mistakes. It's fine. Things happen. Mm-hmm. Maybe you make the bad pass. Okay, I get it. But for Obi to start running with the ball before he puts it down after, like, it's not like, you know, it was just, it's in the frame of how it happened. You just made a bad turnover. So automatically you're blind.
I think I remember what it was. Wasn't it him on the offensive? It was a pick and roll with him and Rose, and he got called for the offensive foul, moving screen. Like, he moved on the pick.
Oh, that was maybe that was it. Maybe it was a moving screen.
Yeah. And then we had the turnover, right? And then after that, Tiz was like, I'm done. He took Cam and Obi out right away. You know, so yeah, it was because
what happened. It's sad. You don't want to like that. All plays into killing the momentum, and you know, those are opportunities. 3 opportunities in a row that you don't have any, you know, anything good come from. You can't take advantage of it, and Cleveland can still build upon that and cut into the lead. The Knicks had a good lead at that point.
They went on an 8-0 run. 8-0 run during that spurt.
Bad basketball, folks. Bad basketball. Shout out to the chat, guys. I know, you know, been a little lackadaisical with the love, man. Got to show you guys some love. Appreciate y'all. Salute to Geraldine McIver, First Lady of Still Knick fans in the building as always. Appreciate you. Thank you. And shout out to Geraldine. She just had a birthday. Appreciate you, Geraldine. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
You know how much we care. Wish you many, many more. Shout out to my guy Cormega in the building. Salute to you, my brother. Shout out to Dwayne Dennis. Thank you for being here. Illmatics in the building. Appreciate you. Bricks Nation is in the building. Thank you. Killer Kamikaze in the building. Thank you for being here. Angel Torres is here. Francisco Carrillo.
Appreciate you.
My guy JJ. JJ.
Appreciate
Knicks
you.
Morning Brew, a.k.a. Yankees Morning Brew. Project Nerd, a.k.a. Heck in the building.
Appreciate you.
Freeman 48 is here. Salute to you. Thank you for being here. And then obviously I see there's a couple other people here watching, but may not be in the chat. Thank you guys for tuning in. We know it's a jam-packed Monday. I know right now I can see there's at least 3 other Knicks shows on right now as we speak, and there was 2 others on a couple hours ago. Not to mention what was on earlier today. Monday is nuts.
Yeah.
So
it's prime time right there.
Thank you guys. Yeah, thank you guys for being here and rocking with us. Yeah, and just to recap and get through this so we can get into our next segment, the prediction segment. So in case you guys aren't aware, Knicks went 2-3 this week as far as games go. It's a tough one. They did beat the Charlotte Hornets earlier, and even that wasn't a gimme. They won 134-131. That was a lot closer than a lot of people, would expect, or people, for people's liking, right? Yeah, exactly. And that just goes to the point once again. The East is better. Charlotte didn't even have all their pieces, and they still put up 131 points. It's tough, man. It's tough. I mean, John, I know you talk about it all the time. Some of these other teams around the East, man, you got to watch them. Charlotte's one of them. I mean, you've liked Charlotte's personnel in the past, and their personnel, the main guys, a couple of them weren't even out there.
Right, and not to mention Bridges ain't going to play with them the entire season because of what he's got going on. So that's an offensive threat that's now missing from that team. But it's almost like they didn't lose a beat. They're well coached. They have the right sort of player, I guess, an allotment of players that sort of have, solid skill sets. They're athletic. They're young, so they can run with you. When Lonzo Ball gets back, or LaMelo Ball, sorry, when LaMelo Ball gets back, they're going to be that much better, if not, way better. Terry Rozier, back. Those are their top two guys. So can you imagine when that team gets in full strength and what they're gonna do? Definitely a team to look out for in the East. That's a dark team right there. That's one of those black. What do they call it? That's my dark horse team for the season.
Yeah.
So
true. Shout out to Jay Boogie, man. He says, shout out to the chat. Blessings, health, and happiness to you all. Happy Halloween. Yes, happy Halloween to everybody. To the kids. What does he say here? Kids hit that like button. Appreciate Ron and John reminding us all after a loss, we still Knicks fans.
That is facts.
Thank you, Jay Boogie.
That's what we're here to do. We're still Knicks fans, through the good, through the bad.
Yep.
We're gonna ride with our squad. You know what I mean?
Yep. So that's what took place with Charlotte. Then the New York Knicks lose 119-108 to Milwaukee. Once again, it was a tough loss. This one was probably less in question, even though the Knicks had a chance to do a couple things differently and possibly get themselves in a position to fight for the victory. They didn't really do much, and I don't think, as other people have mentioned to me, the Knicks were never really threatening Milwaukee, or Milwaukee never felt threatened. So it's one of those things where this was just like, sometimes you catch Milwaukee and they just play better than you. We've played Milwaukee very tough in the past, but this is one of those times it did not work out.
You got to get credit where credit is due. Giannis came out, wasn't going to – I think that the games that he's lost against the Knicks, he's come out lackluster. He came out from jump attacking the basket. He was going to put pressure on the Knicks defense from jump, and that's what he did. He got everybody in foul trouble. Mitch was in foul trouble. Randall was right there. He was putting all of the smoke, early on. He was applying the pressure, wasn't letting go of the gas. And again, he's gotten better as a free throw shooter. So it's hard for teams to play against him because he has all the athletic ability. Plus he's strong. Plus he's now starting to hit his free throws. Only thing left is that 3-point shot. You know what I'm saying? So
it's true. It's
a big one.
Man, yeah, and then we've obviously already talked about the Knicks losing to the Cavs 121-108. Yeah, man.
Stellar performance by one Donovan Mitchell, by the way. Gotta give again.
Shout out to
he's
an
all-star for a reason. He's an all-star for a reason.
He definitely showed everybody why he is somebody that teams would like to have on their roster.
Right. Look what he did against Boston. He got LeVert going. LeVert was 40, hit 40, dropped 40, and so did he. And he got him going. And remember, this is again without Darius Garland, who is out with an eye injury. And now Donovan Mitchell is now playing the point guard position in lieu of that, and still coming off scoring points, getting his teammates involved, doing those things that he could do. One of the reasons why this hurts so much, not being able to solidify a trade for Donovan Mitchell. He may not be the greatest defender, but offensively, he gives you what you need.
And that is why when we were going back and forth and people were kind of on the fence about whether we should get Donovan or not, I said that I thought we needed Donovan because, one, he helps cut some of the fat because some of these players would be out of here, so the playing time issues wouldn't be as prevalent. That would be a good thing. And two, even if he's not a great defender or a good defender, he is good on the other end. Like, he's a difference maker. Right. So, difference makers, there's a reason why there's so many of them in the league, because Donovan's not the only one. There's a lot of guys in this league that have great offensive games and don't play good defense. Right. So that was a chance to get one, and one who wanted to be here. But, things happen the way they happen. So we got to move on until we get in a situation where we hopefully can acquire the next one, or if we're able to maybe draft one, which the drafting one is really a crapshoot for this Knicks team. We'll see. But yeah, it is what it is, man. John, before we get into our predictions, our next game is Wednesday against the Atlanta Hawks.
Yes, sir.
What do you think
In
about
Atlanta.
that game with Atlanta? Yeah, what do you think about that game in Atlanta? You know, and in essence, you don't have to necessarily say who you think is going to win, but just how do you think that game can play out, and what do the Knicks need to do in order to win?
This one for me is that litmus test game, right? This is the team who has gotten better because they brought in DeJounte, but how much have they gotten better, right? Like, to what degree have they taken that team to? Outside of that, DeJounte, Murray deal, did they really adjust their team? Like, I don't know if there was that much change that went on in the offseason for that squad. So I'm going to say that this will be a good litmus test for us, an opportunity for us to see how we match up against a team that's had our number in the past and that, has taken us out of the playoff contention, that 1 year, 2 years ago. And to see, like what can we establish ourselves in the East? Can we take a hold at a 6 or 5, 7 position, right, in the East? Because that's where Atlanta is expected to drop, right? 7, 6, or 5, depending on how they play this season. So let's see. I mean, I'm looking forward to this game. I know there's going to be either a great shooting performance by Trey or a poor one. We know that. He's never in between. He's either really, really good or really, off his game.
Right.
And if he's off his game, how much can DeJounte Murray pick up, from that? Like, can he pick up the slack? Can he make it happen for that squad when there's an off night by Trae Young?
Yeah, that's a good point. Like that this is interesting because they're like in essence, just because of that one playoff game, they are like a nemesis. So it's very interesting to see how this matchup happens. And correction, John, actually this game is not in Atlanta. This game is at MSG.
It's New York? Oh.
Yes, it is.
That changes everything. No, this is still a litmus test. Listen, at the end of the day, whether we play them in Atlanta or we play them at MSG, we have to figure out how to dominate a game like this. If we could dominate a game like this, and we could sort of put a staple on where we're going to be positioned this season, right? Are we going to take this away from Atlanta, or are we going to be like, because these are the games you are sort of right there with. You're sort of matched up almost evenly. Now you got to prove it. You got to prove it by winning these games. And the same, I would say, with the Wizards, right? Like, because the Wizards are right there as well. So now we have to play to win those games.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that this is definitely going to be an interesting. It's now we got to see what. It would be a waste. I'm interested to see how Atlanta matches up with the Knicks on the defensive side. I'm assuming that DeJounte Murray is going to be guarding RJ, but he could guard Fournier with the natural matchup. I don't expect him to be guarding Jalen Brunson. So it would be really interesting to see how that works. Now, if Jalen Brunson happens to get off to a good start, then I could see them making a switch and doing something of that nature. But it's very interesting to see how they play. And are the Knicks able to stop the dynamic duo? Because that is a tough matchup again, because we know what Trae Young likes to do, Mr. Rayford Trae Young, with his inside, outside, the little floater and the 3-point shots and drawing really, dumb fouls on his opponent by how he plays. So with that happening, and then you figure, okay, we got Trey. We know he likes to chuck it up or get into the paint and shoot the floater. But then now with DeJounte, you got a guy who loves to get inside the paint, use his body to get where he wants to go and knife in the lane. Like, it's going to be interesting to see how they play these guys. Yeah, he's got a solid mid-range.
Solid mid-range, you know, and they still have what's the kid's name? The small forward / power forward kid jumps out the gym. I don't know why I'm forgetting his name.
Why am I forgetting his name?
On the Atlanta team. Wow, I'm drawing a blank. But the kid is, you know, he's having a solid start to his season. And so if they get him going early, Collins?
No, but he's not
the Collins?
Yeah, I mean he's the center or power forward guy, yeah.
Collins, right?
Yeah. It would be Collins, I guess, if that's who you're talking about.
Yeah, the leaper.
Yeah, he's the one with he's got the hops, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so that's
and he's having a decent season. So, you know, looking at a team like that, and I'm wondering, well, you know, John Collins, that's who I was thinking of. He plays forward, you know. They got Bragi over there, Bogdanovich. I don't know if he's playing, though. I haven't really paid attention. Has he been playing?
I believe so. I thought I saw him that he played recently, but you know, I gotta double check that because I know he's battling some injuries.
And they got the young power forward, you know, and DeAndre Hunter. So if their starting lineup is as consistent as it was a few years ago, you're gonna see a lot of Clint Capella, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, DeAndre Murray, Trey Young, you know, sort of lineup. It's an athletic team. They got some guys who can run up and down the court. You know, you're gonna have matchup problems, but you're gonna have to be willing to, you know, step up and play your man. Like the switching has to be at a minimum. And that's
he's out, by the way. Like, he's out.
Adjustments. Bragi's out.
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah, so they may be running like what? Who's the young kid? Jalen. Is it Jalen? I know they work with Justin Holiday, right? Justin plays a lot for them.
They are going with.
Or is it Jalen Johnson?
The hell is this? DeAndre Hunter.
DeAndre Hunter plays what? The small forward?
Small forward. Power forward is John Collins, and Clint Capella is the center.
And see that, and that's what I'm saying. So I think the DeAndre Hunter's like 6'8", 6'9". He's a tall frame kid. You know what I mean? So they have length, they have athleticism. You know what I mean? And that's what you look at. You know, John Collins, the same thing, 6'8", 6'9". Those are athletic forwards. You know, so. They can jump. They can jump out the gym. So they're going to have matchup issues. Now, this is a team that you can't play off of them because they can shoot the three. You know what I mean? So you have to stay home. And you have to be able to play man to man. You can't be doing all the switching.
Although without Bogdanovich there, that does help a little bit as far as having to worry about their three-point shooting because he's a big one for them.
No, yeah, he's a big one. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, and then, you know, some of the young guys haven't really presented their games as of yet in the NBA, like AJ Griffin hasn't really shown.
He's not getting the minutes yet, right? Like, he's not.
Right. I mean, you know, he got 14 minutes in the last game. He had 2 points, but, like, that stuff is kind of developing slowly.
Right. But they got the other kid who, like I said, they used the Holiday kid. I know that. One of the Holidays.
Yeah.
They have,
they've got both of them. Aaron, looks
so
like in the last game, Aaron played 9 minutes, but the other Holiday, Justin, played 24 minutes. So they're using him.
Right. So Justin is the guard, right? Is he the guard?
Justin is the guard, yes. Aaron is more of the – well, they're both guards, but Justin is the small forward.
Okay.
Aaron is more of the combo guard, shooter guard / point guard type.
Right. Look, at the end of the day, it's going to be a tough matchup. We gotta play to win. We gotta match up and see where we land. It's a home game, so I'm hoping they really are, stressed. They're stressing the fact of winning them home games. They talked about it in their last 3 victories. They've lost so far the 3 that they played away from the Garden. They've won the 3 that they were at the Garden. Let's continue that for now until we figure out how to play and win games, even if they're not just clean games. If we could figure out how to get those dirty wins, in someone else's arena, then I'll take that. But
Right.
This is a matchup game right now for me, a litmus test.
I agree. Okay, that works. We'll see. We'll see what they wind up doing in this game. I'm looking forward to seeing how the Knicks come out after these 2 losses. See if they can stop the bleeding, or are we going to be a team of big streaks? I hope we're not. So, anyway, I think it's that time for us to get into the predictions.
What's up?
What up? What's going on?
I'm taking it old school, I'm not going to show up on screen tonight.
All right.
Oh man.
So you guys just got to
keep
deal
them
with my
guessing,
voice.
huh?
Yeah.
Keep them guessing.
But listen, fellas, before we do our predictions, do you guys want to know who won last week?
Oh yeah, I already know.
Not really. I mean, I guess I already know who won.
Come on, this is the moment that everyone's been waiting for. Are you ready?
Sure, why not? I guess we're ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, your second week, the king of prediction for this week is, wait for it. Mr.
Wow.
John. This one's for you.
Was insane. Let's go. Let's go. I want to give this award out to our chat because I went with the chat and they were 100% right. I don't know how they were right, but I know they went with all 3 wins.
No.
I guess we got the one.
No.
They went with
two wins, 1 loss.
and 1 loss. They weren't 100% right.
Yeah.
Because we wound up losing to Milwaukee and to Cleveland.
Okay.
But if remember, this whole thing is about prediction. And John, because you trusted the fans, you trusted in the first person who said W for the first game. You trusted the second person with a loss for the last game. You came out with a score of 2 against 1. Congratulations.
Let's go. Yes, sir.
Congrats.
So I'm talking about. See, fans hold it down, man. They know the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they know what to do.
That's right. Sometimes you got to listen to them.
But with that being said, let's move on to this week's prediction.
All right.
I want you guys to look at these games. Think carefully. Because this is it. Both of you got to win. So next week is going to be the tiebreaker. Unless both of you draw, then we have a problem.
Yeah. All right. Let's go. I'm ready.
So who picked last week first? Was it?
I think you did.
Did I? And I went with the fans.
Yeah. Because I sent mine in to Jose. Yeah.
Okay. So it's on you, bro.
All right. Well.
Wait.
Uh-oh.
Curveball.
Yep. Here's the thing. Next week, Monday, while we're starting our show, actually, there is going to be a game that will be beginning that same time.
Oh.
Okay.
Next week's game will start at 9:15 p.m.
Okay.
Now, this is the curveball. I'm going to let you guys tell me who will win next week's game. Most likely, by the end of our show, that game is still going, right? Because each games are roughly about 2 hours. I will give you an opportunity as you're watching the game, updating us, updating the viewers on the score. I will give you the opportunity to change your prediction.
But it's got to happen before halftime.
Or before
halftime?
Yeah.
Okay, before halftime.
Yeah.
But tell me right now, who do you think is going to win?
Okay. So it's all wrong.
Sheesh, bro. So if we're just talking about the New York Knicks versus Minnesota,
yes,
I'm going to say that the Knicks win versus Minnesota.
Okay. John?
I am also going with the win at Minnesota.
All right. Next week, before halftime, as we get close to halftime, I'm going to ask you guys once again if you want to stay with that dub or if you want to change your mind. Because the truth is that if you change your mind next week, that means you have no faith in your team. But that's a different story.
That's so true.
Anyways, let's go into our predictions for these next 3 games.
Okay. I'm going with
the pressure is on.
Wait. Stop.
Wait a minute.
We're actually going to throw another curveball at you guys.
Oh, no.
Here we go.
Because, John, you trusted the fans last week, I figured that we can let the fans choose the predictions this week.
Ooh.
Here's the only thing. I let you guys have the Timberwolves prediction. That's all you. So, whether you're right or wrong, that's really on you. I don't really care. I mean, I do care, but don't really care.
Gotcha.
Now, here's the third curveball. Throughout the night, I put up a question in our chat asking who wins, Knicks, or what, the teams that you see here. But I actually asked the question twice throughout the night. So we actually have a first set of prediction and a second set of prediction. Now, here's the thing, John. It's so perfect that you won today. Oh, man, look at this. Because we already know that Ron is always on the chat, right? Whether he's seeing it on the screen that I provided for you guys or he's seeing it on his phone or a secondary tab. So he's able to see all the prediction. Here's one thing he doesn't know. And you're going to love this. Ready? Hold up.
Uh-oh.
John, can you talk to Ron?
Yes. Ron, can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
John, and Ron can hear me. I actually muted you, and Ron cannot hear you right now.
All right.
So this is what's going to happen, John. You have the first set of prediction and the second set of prediction. I want you to cover your mouth, and I want you to let me know which set do you want to go with. I'm not going to tell you the set. You just have to choose.
I want number 1.
Boy.
Okay. Are you sure about that?
No, I want number 2.
Okay. The fans are hearing this. So tell me the final decision.
Going with two.
Okay. Let's bring Ron back in here. Okay. So, Ron, I know you heard what just happened, but you don't know which
no,
one.
Actually, I didn't hear what just happened.
Okay, well, I mean, you heard me. You just didn't hear John. And John made a prediction. And you know what? I got so excited. I forgot what you said, John. Cover your mouth again.
All right, I'm going with 2. Going with 2. Did you get me? I'm going with 2.
Yeah, there it is. That is your prediction for this upcoming week. Oh, let me make a change real quick. Just because you guys, did choose a dub for the next week game.
Oh, crap. Are you serious?
So,
let's go. Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time here with us, or maybe you're coming back to us and, you're not sure what happened, it's simple. Our predictions are locked in. Last season, I used to ask them, do you lock it in? Do you have an opportunity to change it? No, we don't change it. We actually lock it in. However, the last game, which is New York Knicks versus Timberwolves, which will be happening next week, Monday, at the time that we actually start our show. Both Ron and John gave us their prediction. Next week, Monday, as we're in the middle of our show, right before halftime, I will give them the opportunity to change their prediction. If they choose to change it, that means they're not faithful Knicks fans, and you guys control them. If they stick to their prediction, but the Knicks are really losing, they're still Knicks fans. That's the whole point of this whole show, right? But John,
it sure is.
You should have just stayed with the first prediction.
I think you're right.
I don't think there's anything wrong with what John did. I appreciate him being a person who has that intestinal fortitude. Keep being who you are, John.
Before I leave, I just need to get you guys' opinion. Based on the prediction that you see here, Ron, obviously you got the first set. John, you got the second set. Where's your disagreement and agreement with? Would this have been your prediction?
Actually, this would have been my prediction. This is what I was going to pick.
You're so full of it.
I'm not mad at all.
You're full of it. We would have went win-win, loss-win. Really?
Well,
yeah,
Freeman.
This is what
Freeman 48 says win, loss. Do you agree with that one?
I mean, that's where I'm at with it. I would have went win, loss, win. But you know what? I'm riding with the chat. Let's go. I'm going for the wins. Let's go for them wins.
Yeah. Philadelphia is a little iffy to me. I don't know what's the deal with Joel Embiid. He's dealing with some injury stuff. Even if he plays, I just think it's a good time for the Knicks to take advantage of that team. So, and James Harden is basura, trash bags. So, let's take advantage of that team over there.
So why you got the win?
That's what I mean. I think the Knicks are going to beat them.
The win. Okay, gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen,
all right, let's go.
I hope you enjoyed this week's prediction. Good luck, and see you next time.
Later, Jose.
Pew, 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 pew.
For whoever is sad with their prediction.
Oh, yeah, John.
No, I'm good. I'm going to think good spirits, and we're going to get these wins. Let's go.
There you go. And guys, once again, if you're just tuning in late, earlier today we picked our peak performer of the last Knicks game, which was the game versus the Cleveland Cavaliers. As we've said before, this is it could be a peak performer that's good or a peak performer that's bad. We want you guys, your feedback as to if you think that our choice for who we picked is a good choice or if it sucks, quite frankly. And I put it in the chat once again, guys. We picked RJ Barrett. If you agree with us about RJ, hit that star emoji with the stars in the eyes. Or if you disagree with us picking RJ as the negative peak performer, by all means, hit the throw up emoji. Let us know that we're off base. But yeah, RJ just hasn't been playing good for most of the season. In this game, he did play much better on the whole. However, you see that play right there that you just witnessed. that was a pivotal shot that he took that helped kill the momentum. Okay, he should have looked for a better opportunity for us to get into our sets and get something that we could have used, because at this point, the play was important, and the Cleveland Cavaliers were trying to come back into the game, and him taking that shot obviously was not good. So
against 2, then 4 defenders, right? Like he was in an island by himself. It's like, what's the point, man? Dribble that ball out,
crazy.
Slow it up, get into an offense. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely. Well, guys, thank you once again for being here and rock with us. I'm happy to be back of somewhat better health. I'm still on the mend, not out of the proverbial woods, as they say. You still got to get through certain things, but I feel much better. So thank you guys for being here and rocking with us. Shout out to the chat once again. David L in the building. I see you. Appreciate you. White Falcons in the building. Mets, Knicks fans, let's go. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. And don't think I forgot. I know you put something in the chat before, a little interesting trivia about Kevin Love's uncle being one of the Beach Boys.
The Beach Boys?
Hey, I actually did hear that a long time ago, but I'm sure a lot of people didn't know that. Yeah, Beach Boys, man. Listen, way down in Kokomo. That's where you want to go. Yeah. So, I think his uncle might be Brian Wilson, but I'm not sure. Could be the other one. Anyway, yeah. So thank you for that. Appreciate that trivia. Interesting information there. And thank you to everybody in the chat for rocking with us and hanging with us throughout this very busy day of Monday Knick content. Thank you guys for rocking. John, any final words, my brother?
Man, as always, I want you all out there to stay blessed, stay healthy, and I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm out of here.
I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. So he always just knows exactly what to say. Anyway, thank you guys. As always, we appreciate you. As I say, tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Still, Knick fans, we'll be back again. Check us out this Thursday, 8 p.m. NBA Report on NothinButKnicks, the NBK Network in the building. And then again on Saturday, 11 a.m. for the Know the Ledge. Gotta know the ledge. Thank you to everybody tuning in. Thank you to my guy Jose on the 1s and 2s holding us down. Appreciate you, my brother. Appreciate you as always. Shout out to everybody. You guys have a great rest of your night. If you're watching Monday Night Football, some wild stuff is happening. Somehow Cleveland is beating up on Cincinnati. It's weird. Football is weird, man. So many weird things happen. Whatever. All right, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Be safe out there. And listen, be careful out there, man. That thing is going back around. So, I know we had a nice little open summer, but keep in mind it's out there. So take care of yourselves.